Good day, everybody. I'm going to do a video on planting the proper way to plant a fruit tree, or really any tree. Um, this what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant this persimmon tree here in this location. First, before you plant a tree, you want to, based on the type tree it is, you want to pick the perfect location. So it does a lot of good to do a little research on the tree that you're on the plant, on the type of soil conditions it likes, whether it like a shady location, a damp location. Most trees like a well-drained soil, so you're gonna probably be looking at that no matter what tree you plant. But it does make a difference on choosing a location. Like this particular tree, persimmon, it likes a good sunny location, and it likes a well-drained soil. So I picked a good spot that was kind of high in my landscape. So you may want to look like when it rains, you get a lot of rain, if you got spots in your yard that hold water or puddle up, you don't want to put a tree there. You want to get a good high space. So if you think about planting trees, kind of pay attention to your landscaping. If you see good high spots in your landscape that don't hold water, you may want to put a little flag or put a stake there, so that'll be a reminder of where you want to plant your next tree. If you got good sandy, loomy soil like I do, or good soil that drains, because this soil right here is real fine. So if you got a good fine sandy, loomy soil, then you can just do the hole about twice as big as your container. So this container here, I got it about twice as big, maybe not quite that big, but I'm not gonna go any further with it. But you want to do it at least twice as big as your container, and you want to do it about 4 to 6 inches deeper than your plant is going to be. This one's going to be probably about 6 inches deeper, because what you want to do is you're going to prep that soil under it so you have a well-drained soil under there. Mine is well draining anyway, but I take the extra precaution or extra effort to put some compost, and I'm going to get a bag of compost and show you here in a little bit. But basically, you just the compost that you can buy from your box store, just the regular compost is usually less than $2 a bag. I mix that 50-50 with my native soil. So what that does, it gives it a little bit closer to a feeling of how it was in the pot, but it gives it a slow transition to moving into the native soil. And that way it'll get well established after it has a good 4 to 6 inches to grow into that hybrid soil, and then it'll start growing into your native soil. So it just starts it off with a good start. Okay, we got the compost. It's just a compost you get from the box store. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get me a shovel and kind of mix half and half and put about 6 inches down in that hole. Then I'm gonna do the same thing, and then I'm just gonna fill it around the sides. You wanna have at least a good foot and a half where you don't have anything, any grass growing around that plant. You just got, a little swell for the plant, and then you put your pine straw down or your mulch down, because that's critical for the first 2 or 3 years until the plant get established. Okay, as you see, I have my hole filled in. What I did, I wish I could have videotaped while I did it, but it's very simple. I just poured in some of the compost, and then I just start shoveling in about the same amount of native dirt, and then I just mix it up with my shovel. And then I got my hands in there. I wear these little gloves on my hands so I can put my hands in there and mix it all together. And then I get it where I get it about like about an inch and a half above the native ground. That way it'll give it a little more room to settle, because it will settle a little bit, and it'll be perfect with the level with the ground. And as far as the bottom of the surface, what I do is make sure it's completely level. So when I put the plant in there, it'll be sitting level, and then I flare it up a tad bit in the center. So when I fill the hole in, I won't have any voids. Another step I recommend doing is, massaging the sides of the root ball gently, and get those roots that were wrapping around that pot. Just massage them and get them, loosened up. That way the plant it'll hopefully get a little bit better start on it getting established. That's not a step you have to take, but to me it's worth it. It's a very easy thing to do. So just kind of pull those roots out of there, and you know, it'll help it get out of that root bound stage a lot faster, or a little faster. And because you want those roots to start stretching out into that native soil. So I'm gonna continue to massage this without breaking it up too bad, and then we'll start filling in the sides. Okay, I got it filled in. You do want to pack your plant down with your foot real tight at the top. I know at the bottom I just pushed it in with my hands, patted it down, but at the top you want to press it down with your foot and get it kind of firm at the top. And also you want to create a swell around the plant, at least, you know, a 6 to 8 inch swell all the way around the plant. Because when you water the plant, you want your water to be able to go right down to the root system. Or when it rains, you want water to be focused right down on that root system. And you want to keep and maintain that swell for the first 3 or 4 years. And the way you do that, you want to come back, like me, I'm going to come back with some mulch or some pine straw, and that'll help protect that swell. Also, you want to pack your swell down real tight. I got to come back and pack this one down tighter, and I want to probably add a little bit more dirt on top of it. But you know, it's overall, this is how you want to do it. I know it's kind of getting dark, but I always plant my plants this time of the day if I can, because when they've been sitting in a pot, the roots have gotten used to a warmer, a warmer environment, because they get hotter in that pot. So I let it cool down, let the plant cool down, let my ground cool down. That way the plant doesn't go through as much stress of being transplanted into the ground. If I plant it late in the afternoon, and I'm gonna put about 3 or 4 gallons of water down in this hole. You know, the ground is real moist because we just got some rain, but you know, I'm gonna put some water in it. Another thing you want to do is, this tree right here is grafted. So if you do a grafted tree, you want to make sure that graft is standing straight up, sitting straight up level. So if you plant any other tree, you want that trunk of that tree to be level, and you want that tree to look straight. You know, it does look a little bent because it's, you know, it's been sitting in the pot. It's got this little support on it. I'm actually gonna put a cage around it, or you can put fencing material around it. But you want to do something to give it some support for the first year or two until it gets established and happy in the ground. The best time of the year to plant a tree really is early in the spring, but while the plant is still dormant before it gets leaves on it, or you can do it in the fall, you know, when it goes dormant. When you plant a potted plant from a nursery, you really can plant that any time of the year. Like I say, it goes through less stress if you do it in the evening when it's not hot. But that's the thing about a potted plant, you can really get away with planting any time of the year. But if you do a bare root plant, which is a lot of the trees you order online or come bare root because they're a lot lighter, those are definitely better to plant early in the spring or in the fall. But you can plant a tree anytime, and I encourage you. I don't discourage you to not plant a tree because of any time of the year, unless the only time I don't recommend it is in the dead winter. But so I hope this video helps. You know, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching. All right, this is the finished product.